once we figured out that, again, these kids are now left, once you round up all the bad guys and take them off the streets, now you have all these kids that are left behind that are now fatherless. They need mentorship. They need accountability. They need structure in their lives, and they need some kind of goal setting process where they realize there's more to it than what they think. And so that's really the motivation. You know, no one even knew, even after we did the roundup, no one really knew who I was. I mean, we had the FBI was having press conferences, the gang unit in Fort Worth was having press conferences, it was all fine. And then a buddy of mine and one of my bosses recommended me for an Officer of the Year thing. And then it just kind of came out. Papers hit, you know, so it became a big story. It's throwing pitches out the Texas Rangers game. It's not awesome, what I asked for, you know, at all. It wasn't part of the deal because undercover work is, you know, kind of supposed to be undercover work. So, but it ended up bringing attention to it. And then I had lots of people saying, you got to write a book. You got to write a book. Yeah. And I used to keep these little, I call them snot rags because I made them look like snot rags, but I would memorialize little events that happened or write down people's names if I saw a tattoo, whatever, and then wad it up and make it look like it was a snot rag and shove it in the side of my car door. And so I had lots of these things that kind of created a story along with some of the records from the thing. And so I knew I could write one. And so I decided once we discovered the kids and that there were some entities that really did great mentoring for these kids and gave them a good shot, I decided to write it, and it teamed up with an author that mentored me in terms of story structure and stuff. And then, you know, I think as much of an accomplishment as the undercover work was, really writing the book was a great accomplishment too, because it really took me a long time to really master the structure and the way to tell a story. I mean, you can't tell 51 people's story in a book. Right. So you got to figure out how to condense it, you know. And since then, we've written movie scripts and all these different things, which condenses it even more. You want to make a 3 or 4 hour movie, then you're going to have to make it about 4 or 5 or 6 characters, not, you know, and there are plenty in there, probably too many in there. But again, I've learned a ton over the period of time, but that's the only purpose that the book was written. And again, we keep not a dime from it.